I'm going to go ahead and turn the recorder on. Good morning. Today is May the 4th of 2021 here at 3B District Court in Centerville. We have a fairly light morning this morning. Judge Patterson has a pre-exam conferences, and I have the arraignments today. And we have several arraignments from Three Rivers, White Pigeon, and county cases, a couple of felonies thrown in. We're waiting for people to log in now. This afternoon, we have several preliminary examinations starting at 1 o'clock. I'm not sure which of those are scheduled to go and which aren't. So we're just starting our day, waiting for people to log in. We have a new public defender who's been hired by the county as the chief public defender. His name is Keith Stickley, and he will be joining us here shortly. I just met him yesterday, and he'll be the public defender on these proceedings going forward. So now we're in our usual hurry up and wait mode, and we'll just see who logs in here in the next few minutes. Here is somebody from Galaxy A20. Let's find out who they are. Good morning. Could you unmute your microphone?
What?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right, I'm going to shut the Polycom off.
I can't hear you.
Now, if I unmute,
I can't hear you. Can't hear you.
How about now? Can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
Good morning, John.
Good
Can
morning.
you hear me?
Yes, I can now.
Well, I've got the feedback loop on, so I've got to unmute this one.
No, you're muted. Can you hear me?
All right. All right, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, but I got it. Can you hear me now?
yeah, better.
All right, we've got the other mic on. All right, Mr. Morgan, let me give you a name. Not sure what happened, because I use the same setting we use every day. Anyway, it's 8:15. We should be ready to start. All right, Ms. Galaxy A20, can you hear me?
Yes.
What's your name? I'm sorry, what's your name?
Cheryl Harmon.
Oh, Cheryl Harmon. Okay, I can't hear you very well. All right, we got through that struggle. I'm not sure what happened. As I said, I can't have both microphones on at the same time or there's a feedback loop. Let me get situated here. Well, we are recording. We're live on YouTube and we're on the Zoom platform. This is Judge Middleton here at the court in Centerville. Mr. John Barnes, the Three Rivers City Attorney, is with us. The public defender should be logging in shortly. Ms. Harmon, I'm going to start with you. Are you Cheryl Ann Harmon?
Yes.
You got charged with possession of methamphetamine, which is a felony charge. Because it is a felony, I don't have jurisdiction to do anything at this point. I'm going to appoint an attorney to assist you with this and set a pre-exam conference. Possession of methamphetamine is a felony punishable by up to 10 years imprisonment. We have a lot of these, hundreds and hundreds, in the course of a year. Methamphetamine is the scourge of Southwest Michigan. Ms. Harmon, I'm going to show you plead not guilty. I'm going to appoint Attorney Timothy Reed and set a pre-exam conference, which we set in all felony cases. That will be May 18th at 9 a.m. And a preliminary examination, if needed, will be May 25th. That'll be at 1 o'clock. Mr. Reed's office is in Sturgis. I want you to contact him and make an appointment to discuss this with him. Ms. Harmon, does your phone number still end in 2761?
Yes.
All right. And are you still on Pulver Road?
Yes.
All right, I'm going to send this information to you. You do have a right to hire an attorney of your own choosing, but I want to make sure that you have one. So I'm appointing Mr. Reed. He's a very capable defense attorney here in St. Joseph County. I want you to call him and make an appointment to discuss your case with him prior to May 18th. You posted a bond in the amount of $2,000, 10%. That bond is continued. Do you have any questions? All right, we didn't have a very good signal, but I think you got it. Yes?
Keith is trying to dial in
Keith?
the public.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
All right, Ms. Harmon, you're good to go. Good morning, Mr. Morgan.
Good morning. Good morning.
Let me get your file up here. You're Nathaniel Forrest Morgan. You got a ticket under Three Rivers Ordinance on April 25th, charged with driving suspended first offense and no proof of insurance. You presently have $900 worth of unpaid tickets, no proof of insurance from 2018, which is causing you to be suspended, among other things. You have an animal cruelty ticket from 2019, and then you have a no valid operator's license from 2019. Those are all on hold, theoretically due by May 14th. And part of the reason you're suspended is you have these unpaid traffic matters. Driving suspended is a misdemeanor, punishable by up to 93 days in jail and a fine of up to $500. And the other charge is a civil infraction, no proof of insurance, carries a fine of $150. Mr. Morgan, are you still living over on 8th Street?
Yes. And I do have insurance on my vehicle now.
All right, well, that's a start. How'd you get insurance without having a license?
Over the internet.
Okay. Well, Mr. Barnes, what's your thought here?
I'm sorry, I missed that one. That was, Mike.
This is Nathaniel Morgan.
It's not on the pretrial list that Sue, or I mean, Laura sent me. Let's see here.
File 21882.
Daniel Morgan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, it was a driving suspended second. The officer reduced it to first, so no.
Yeah.
If
He says he has insurance now. Would that affect the civil infraction charge?
Was it effective at the time he was driving the vehicle? Or did he get it since?
He got it since.
I think he ought to just take the civil infraction too.
All right. All right, Mr. Morgan, there's essentially no plea offer here. You got unpaid fines now, which are why, in part, you're suspended. Although the state is working on some of that to lift some suspensions for non-traffic related things, but they're going to continue to suspend your license if you get traffic tickets and don't pay them. So right now there's no plea offer. You can either plead straight up, or I can have an attorney appointed to assist you with this. What would you like to do?
I'm not sure, I guess. I
He
don't
also
know.
had
I
no
guess
plate on the vehicle, Your Honor, which was the reason he was stopped, so that's not charged at
All
this
right.
point in time. It
You
could be,
might
I
need some
suppose.
help, Mr. Morgan. You and I
All
have
right.
known each other for many years, but you gotta stop driving. You live in Three Rivers. It's like shooting fish in a barrel. You're driving around with no license plate, which is like a sign saying, please pull me over. I don't have a valid license. That's just DUMB. So, plus you got this unpaid stuff. It could help your cause by paying off some of your traffic tickets.
Is there
But
any way I could make a payment arrangement for what I do, for the past tickets I do have then?
you already have one now. You just aren't making any payments on it.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay.
so just start making some payments.
Okay.
I'm going to appoint an attorney to assist you.
Okay.
I'm going to set up attorney pretrial for June 4th. Are you working someplace?
Unemployed right now, Your Honor.
All right, a lot of people looking for help. Of course,
I'm making some cash under the table, for, for a gentleman, but
all right,
that's
we'll see.
not steady.
Well, there's plenty of places to make cash over the table, but you need a driver's license to get where you're going. I want to ask you what you were doing, but that goes to the ultimate guilt or innocence of the case, and you don't have an attorney yet. But stop doing it. You keep shooting yourself in the foot and you're running out of toes. So don't drive anymore till we straighten this out and start paying on the unpaid tickets. I'm also interested on how you got insurance without having a valid license, but that's a question for another time. Anyway, I show you pled not guilty. I appointed an attorney for you. We'll send you that information. You have an attorney pretrial set for June 4th at 9 o'clock. Oh, wait a minute. I'm not here June 4th. I hope I didn't set too many things on there. Set it for June 18th at 9 o'clock.
Okay.
All right. God, I hope I didn't set too many things. June 18th at 9 o'clock. That's a Friday. All right, Mr. Morgan, you're good to go. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay. Now, Mr. Keith Stickley has joined us. He's our Chief Public Defender. Mr. Stickley, you have not met Tyrone Valentine, but you'll probably get an opportunity to do that if the Three Rivers PD stop charging him under the Three Rivers ordinance. Mr. Bush, we have two more Mr. Barnes, excuse me, two more Tyrone Valentine cases. File 21870OM charges disorderly person in the city of Three Rivers. File 21873 also charges disorderly person. Mr. Valentine is familiar to each of us. This makes 13 and 14 misdemeanor charges pending against Mr. Valentine at this point for either trespass, retail fraud, or disorderly person in the city of Three Rivers. As you know, we made considerable efforts in conjunction with Lisa Antonelli at the jail, Community Mental Health, Covered Bridge, to get a placement for Mr. Valentine. Apparently he walked away again. I'm not sure what happened, John. I emailed Lisa to find out what she knew. Mr. Stickley, Mr. Valentine suffers from mental illness, and he kind of hangs out on the street and he gets lots of tickets. He doesn't have any money and he normally doesn't show up for his hearing. Now here's conference room. That could be Mr. Valentine.
Judge,
Yes?
He's gonna be on his way down shortly.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you for setting that up. John, the law requires we wait 48 hours before bench warrants, but the only time we ever get to deal with Mr. Valentine is once we arrest him and talk to him from the jail. He doesn't like doing polycom, he doesn't like showing up. What, I guess...
Your Honor, I don't know, I'm mystified as to what to do now. We had, I thought, a good path to getting him some help. They got him into inpatient care. Apparently he walked. Since that time, it's my understanding, based on some emails from Lisa Iannelli, that TRPD took him to community mental health. He was then petitioned at community mental health for involuntary.
So has he been committed?
Committed to be involuntarily committed. They took him to Sturgis ER, and then the Sheriff's Department took him to Sturgis ER, and then supposedly, as of last Wednesday, he was en route to Stonecrest Psych in Detroit for an unknown duration. So that's the last word I have, is that as of last Wednesday at 11:51 a.m., he was en route to Stonecrest Psych unit in Detroit. And if it was an involuntary commitment, then he wouldn't be able to just walk.
Yeah, well, it was involuntary. I'll check with our probate court. You've gone above and beyond in this case. I guess so have I, considering that you're the prosecutor rather than his defense attorney. But we can never, hardly ever get to first base with him. So, all right, I'm going to adjourn this to May 25th.
Yeah, as I said before, I'd rather have treatment than
Well,
punishment.
he's a mental health case, not a criminal case.
Yeah, he doesn't. I don't think he understands what he's doing.
Well, he does. He's quite sly, actually. He makes little jokes and pokes me, but he does what he wants to do, irrespective of what else is going on. I'll adjourn this to May 25th at 8:30 to check defendant's status on commitment. All right. Now, Mr. Meeks has joined us. Good morning, sir. Are you Philip Andrew Meeks?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Meeks, you're from Goshen?
No, that is where I reside at. I'm from Tennessee.
All right. Well, you drove all the way up here from Indiana this morning for this?
No, I'm staying at a extended stay hotel in Sturgis right now.
Okay. Well, you're here, which shows me you're taking this matter seriously, so that's a start. I'm Judge Middleton. I'm right down the hall in the courtroom. Also on the feed with us is the Chief Public Defender, Mr. Keith Stickley, on his second day on the job. He's here to assist if needed. But Mr. Meeks, you're charged with a felony, possession of a dangerous weapon, unlawful use of a registration plate, and no ops. The felony charge is a felony punishable by up to 4 years in prison. Because of that, I don't have jurisdiction to take your plea. So, not guilty. I'm going to appoint Attorney Timothy Reed,
Yes.
and I'm going to set a pre-exam conference for May 18th at 9, and a preliminary examination for May 25th at 1 if needed. Now, when I send you out to the counter, they're going to give you some paperwork. I want you to give the clerks your telephone number and the place where we send your mail, but I'm gonna physically, they'll hand you this stuff like we used to do in the old days. Before we went to the Zoom universe, people would be here in the court, I would see them face to face from 25 feet away. We'd give them the necessary paperwork, we'd address their bond issues, and they could go. Now we do everything virtually. Well, you weren't able to connect, so you drove here to the court, which I do appreciate. Shows me you're taking this seriously. Now you've got some bond conditions, and I want you to continue to follow those bond conditions. Who lives in Goshen?
I do, I did, sir. So I was in Tennessee when we moved up here, me and my wife, my kids, and we lived in Goshen.
Where are your wife and kids? In Goshen?
Also, me and my wife split up and she moved back to Tennessee.
All right, so do you have a house in Goshen or anything?
No, this is my old ID, and I've been trying to get my license, and they've been kicking it back, and I haven't been able to figure out why.
Where are you from in Tennessee?
Chattanooga, Montego.
Okay.
But yeah, I've been trying to get my license, and I had a ticket in Tennessee that I actually just paid maybe a month or two ago.
Well, we'll work on that. The license thing is a lesser concern that you have than this felony weapon charge. In fact, let me pull this up. I'm not even sure what it is you allegedly possessed.
It was a brass knuckle belt buckle, Your Honor.
Oh. Well, that ain't exactly the crime of the century. I was afraid of that. Brass knuckles are a felony offense in Michigan, and people don't know it. Brass knuckle belt buckle sounds like it would possibly be a misdemeanor plea offer. Anyway, I want you to call Mr. Timothy Reed. His office is in Sturgis, and make an appointment. The fact that you're here, you're sort of hanging on the edge, means you want to take care of this. Do not take off. I have some reason to believe this matter could be resolved at the pre-exam conference with a lesser plea. So it's very important that you talk to Mr. Reed and stay here long enough to take care of this piece of business. Now, you've also got issues regarding your light driver's license. You should work on that also. But I want to make sure you have a license. We've had, I don't know, hundreds of these brass knuckle cases over the years. They used to sell them at the fair. The St. Joe County Fair, you could buy brass knuckles for $5. Anyway, in Michigan, it's a felony to possess them, but not a very serious one. So, I want you to go out to the counter. I want you to give the clerks your telephone number. They will give you the paperwork for you to contact Mr. Reed. Do you have a mask?
Yes, sir.
All right, I want you to put that on. Go out to the counter, and the ladies will give you your paperwork. All right, I will see you on May 18th. Do you have any questions?
No, not really.
All right. I'll see you on May 18th. You go out to the counter. All right, Mr. Stickley, this is pretty unauspicious start for your court here. We had a very light morning. They do have some pre-trials going on the other side with Matt Huff, but let's address the rest of what we got here this morning. I have Terrell Cottrell on a no-ops, which is an Andy Rognus case, and Mr. Rognus offered a 257-326, but the defendant is not here. I would call him up and wake him up, but I don't have a phone number. Let's look, see if there's anything in the file. Very slow morning. Well, he doesn't have a bad license, he just doesn't have one. And there's nothing in the file of a telephone number in it, so we'll do an order to show cause first. And we have Michael Owen Hamill from Portage. We don't have a phone number for him either. That's a Three Rivers ordinance case. It's very frustrating, the failure to appear. Takes a lot of administrative time. That's why I call people up when I have a phone number. It's much easier to wake them out of bed than to dink around with show causes and further hearing dates and clerks processing the files. But Mr. Michael Hamill was not here. Eight 7-1 and 8-7-2. Well, this isn't very productive. You have Monica Roars, Stephanie Pollard, and Nathaniel Saxton. Monica Roars is a no-show. She's local. She lives on Hoffman Street. Don't have a number, or I would call her. All right, it looks to me like Stephanie Pollard and Nathaniel Saxton were together. They're our last two cases. I do have a number for Mr. Saxton. No luck there. What's all this? Miss Roars has a bunch of dog tickets as well. Nothing has a phone number in it.
I just checked my police report. I didn't see a phone number for her listed.
Well, I'm gonna do an order to show cause. She also has 4 animal tickets. Let's see, first pending. Stephanie Pollard, do you have anything in there?
Let me look. None listed in the report, Your Honor.
All right, well, as I said, these are a pain. There's 5 of these. But we're gonna go through the process, do an order to show cause, set a show cause hearing, wait for them not to show up, issue a bench warrant. People just show up for what they need to deal with. Life would be much easier. But many of these people are struggling with issues, and as you know, they don't always show up. I'm here every day. Just figure everybody else ought to be.
So as far as our list of all our city cases, so far Nathaniel Morgan's the only person who showed up. Everybody else is a no-show.
Yes.
Including Monica Bennett on the failed to report the accident to fixtures.
Let me see about that. She's on the pretrial side, John.
Oh, okay.
Why don't you check over with,
All right. Well, if you'll excuse me, then I think I've taken care of as many of these as I can. I'll jump over to the to Matt's thing.
all right, thank you.
Thank you. Bye. Nice to see you, Mr. Stickley.
As well, sir.
Let's see if I can find anything from Miss Pollard.
Your Honor, and obviously I am not familiar with all the procedures here as of yet, but is there any sort of a standard contact that goes with bond or citation or anything that automatically gets put in the file with contact information or no?
Well, more so, yes. On a misdemeanor complaint, they get it, but not on a traffic citation. So, and when I call the numbers, I have about 2% success rate, but I try it anyway. No, there is not. Was there in Hillsdale?
Sometimes we, the whole Zoom and handling everything remotely is kind of.
We do have a new SCAO form.
I think that's what they've been using pretty much. I mean, it's not 100% obviously, but it kind of fills the gap that we used to have.
Well, I do not have a number for Mr. Holland either. 866 was this case. Today, Tuesday, is Three Rivers Ordinance Day, Three Rivers and White Pigeon. So many of the cases on Tuesday are Three Rivers cases. Mr. Barnes has been the city attorney for Three Rivers for many, many years. We only had one or two county cases, but they were felonies. So we don't see the county prosecutor this morning. All right, that was file 21866, Stephanie Pollard, possession of paraphernalia under Three Rivers Ordinance. Do not have a number, unable to call. She still lives at the same address she has for several years on Maple Street. She's not here. Now, simultaneously to this, we're doing pretrial conferences for people that had pled not guilty and asked to meet with the prosecutor. And they're in a separate space over on a different number with Mr. Matt Huff, one of the probation agents, helps monitor that. So now we're just going to hurry up and wait for a minute. So do you have that number?
I don't, excuse me, I don't think I do.
I thought I had it here on the bench, but apparently I don't. All right, well, you're off the hook. I'll excuse you. If something comes up, I'll send you an email and ask you to join us, okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
All right, thank you.
And I will, I'm going to stay put here. I have to run to Three Rivers to do a little test for the intake. So, but
Okay.
I'll hang out here for the next, what, 45 minutes?
I would say by 9:15, you should be good to go.
Okay, I'll be here.
All right, thanks.
Thank you.
All right, well, we had a relatively unsuccessful morning, but we got a little bit done. I don't know if we have anything else scheduled till sometime later. At any rate, that's all I've got for now. I'm going to stop the live feed and shut off the recording. We may not be back until 1 o'clock. If so,